Feeling lucky?
I'm guided by a force much greater than luck.
I wonder if I'll be held responsible for this.
Hello, everyone. We're the D20 Duo because that's the name that we came up with, and this is Questlog. You're still late.
No, you said it slower.
I did say it slower so you wouldn't be late, and guess what? You were fucking late.
I wasn't.
I'm gonna just.
I'm hearing us say it at the same. Well, other than I said it faster because you said it slow. It was on time.
I'm gonna assume it's just the delay in between me and you.
It has to be Discord because I hear you and me saying it at the same time every time.
Oh yeah, no, you definitely
because you say it every time.
Nope. Nope. Anyways, we are back. We finished the first game on our massive list of games that we intend on playing on this program for you, our viewers, our listeners, or whatever you want to call
right
it.
now.
Oh, I think that's cute that you think there are two of them out there, but hey,
me and you. That's two.
No, I think we've actually had a good amount of people check us out at least. Hopefully they've stayed for the entire program. I don't deep dive into the analytics of, how long did the average person watch and blah blah blah. I see the viewer count on it, and there is a giant. Apparently, I didn't cut out a clip. On the live stream that went up on YouTube. Oh well.
What got clipped?
Shit happens there. Like I did a shout out for someone during our stream. For Odie Safari. So
yeah.
So if you haven't checked out Odie Safari on Twitch, check him out.
We did a thing.
We did a thing. Yes. So yeah. We finished our first game, Super Mario RPG. We had a good time, but it's time to move on. Now, in the vein, and there was a very specific reason why, and apparently I just missed a whole slew of shout-outs that I did on the live stream. Oh, well. None of my videos on YouTube are perfect. In the vein of why I chose Super Mario RPG, I shouldn't say chose, why I suggested Super Mario RPG for us to play as our first game on this program, Chrono Trigger comes up in the exact same reason. Let's see, it would have been late 2023, or was it 2022? Might have even been 22. Sea of Stars came out.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where you're going.
A very great indie RPG that came out, and it was kind of regarded as like the bastard love child of Super Mario RPG and Chrono Trigger. So we both played through Sea of Stars. We both loved Sea of Stars. So why not play through the two games that very heavily inspired it? So here we are. We are playing Chrono Trigger, originally released in 1995 for the Super NES console. Full disclosure, we are playing the PC version of the game because the PC version has extra content that they added to it when they did the DS version of the game.
Yes.
I know a lot of people don't like the PC version. I think a lot of people have an issue with the font. Apparently, the UI system as a total.
If people have an issue with the font, can you read it? Okay, get over it. It's fucking words.
I mean, what's
the difference in font?
But a lot of people had issues with that with a lot of Square Enix re-releases that were re-released mainly for mobile. And maybe looking at it on mobile is god awful. I don't know. It looks fine on my PC version.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering things as to why people had an issue with this particular re-release of the game, or any of the Square Enix re-releases really. But
Well, if they had an issue with the font, that's crazy to me because like as long as the game plays as it is intended, like as people remember, like it should be fine. The DLC is obviously another portion just for the fact that it wasn't in the original. So it depends on people like hated the DLC or something like that.
yeah, and I know nothing about the. I think there are 2 extra dungeons, um, that are there, and I would imagine that people probably had some issues with those areas being added. So I guess I should say I don't. It's not that I don't know anything about them. I know very little about them. But the things that I do know about them, is that there are more powerful items in these dungeons than there are in the standard game. To my knowledge, there are even more powerful weapons for each of the characters beyond their ultimate weapons. And part of the challenge of the game is, if you remember while we were streaming, to get the best ending of the game, you have to beat the game on New Game Plus, and when you're here in the Millennial Fair, you have to go through the portal at the teleporter that takes you straight to Lavos, and you have to fight Lavos one-on-one with Chrono, and that is it.
Yep.
Again, that's not a spoiler at this point now, because unfortunately I already spoiled that the big bad's name is actually Lavos. So, but we find out about him fairly quick in the game, honestly, anyways. So,
So the DLC then, is that very late game? Like those are added at the very end?
yeah, to my knowledge, so there's a point in the game where you can make a couple decisions on how you want to proceed. And that's when, it's your end game point. And that's when you can do all the side quests. And this game, unlike Super Mario RPG, does have quite a few side quests. So I believe at that point is when we can take on these dungeons. And they will probably be the very last things that we do before we attempt the final boss.
Right. That makes sense.
Because we want to, again, since they have more powerful weapons, they have more powerful enemies. So we're going to want to be as high a level as we possibly can be. We're going to have as much equipment as we possibly can. And go
Andy,
from there.
I see Andy's tail right above your shoulder, and it was just a wagon.
Oh yeah, wagon. But yeah. So there is that, and that is, like I said, I've never done that. I do own the Chrono Trigger game on DS, but I never fully ended up playing it through at that point, which is funny because I know for a fact that after the point of buying it on the DS, I have played it completely through on the Super Nintendo again.
Oh.
So it's like, why didn't I just finish the DS version, you dummy? Well, it's because I have ADD and I'm going, hey, it's a new thing.
I have new thing to play. Yeah, I got that. No, I get that really bad. Is it because in this game also, max level is 99.
Correct.
Like Final Fantasy standard. So we'll have to end up grinding a decent portion, especially if these dungeons are that much harder. Let's say, do you know what the average level that you would need to beat the game should be? Because I know it's not level 99. 99 is just us being fucking overkill.
Yeah. I want to say that the last time that I did play through this game, I want to say I was probably around level 60, which somewhere between 50 and 60 is typically the Final Fantasy standard of where you bare minimum want to be to attempt the final boss.
Okay.
Comfortably. anyways.
So we'll be level 99 by then anyway, so we'll be fine.
Which, you know, if we can actually make it through to level 99 in our first playthrough, I will be extremely happy because we will
We'll get
immediately
the
end
New
the
Game
game,
Plus.
and then we will start New Game Plus, and I will go right after Lavos. I mean, you hear it
Yeah,
right now,
let's try
folks. If we end at 99, we will go attempt,
And we'll have
the best
the
ending.
new ultimate
Yeah.
weapons also. Because we
Just-
might as well we'll 100% the game for what we can. And then New Game Plus instant kill him. That's just an achievement of our own. Like that's for us.
I don't think
I
we're
just want
gonna
to be
instant
OP
kill
as
him.
fuck.
So
We're level 99. We probably it won't probably be insta kill because New Game Plus makes everything that much harder.
no,
But
it doesn't.
no.
No, literally, New Game Plus in this just literally lets you start the game over with your character's weapons, equipment, and items. Well, you don't start with you still have to grab the characters as you go through the game. And one of the characters, their ultimate weapon is a story-based item, so you will not start with their ultimate weapon. But when we get to that point, I will inform you of who they are and what needs to happen now that you have their ultimate weapon. Basically, the long and short of it is, once you have their ultimate weapon, just don't sell off their last weapon that you used before that point, just in case you want to do New Game Plus, like do a actual run through the New Game Plus for any reason, so you can have
in
an
the
ultimate weapon for
dungeon.
them.
Won't that character get another ultimate weapon that's better anyway?
I don't know if all the characters get it or not.
Oh, okay.
So I've heard that it does have new weapons
Googling
for things. So no, I've already spoiled enough for you. This is Mr. Wrong's first playthrough. Just like Super Mario RPG, this is Mr. Wrong's first playthrough.
Yes.
Man, I'm really bad about cutting graphics from stream out of my gameplay in this one, apparently. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the actual game itself. So let's talk the characters first. First impression of our silent protagonist that I thought totally had fucking lines and does not.
Now I'm ad-libbing everything that he says,
which is fine because it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be funny now. It's all that matters. But yeah, what do you think of Chrono here?
He's Link, essentially. Like there's other than like he has a mom. That's it. He doesn't have much going on for him other than he's just like, ugh, people. Why am I doing this shit? I don't want to be here. Why do people keep dragging me into shit? I don't want to be here.
Oh,
that's how I'm playing him. Like he keeps getting dragged into shit. He's like, I don't even like you people. Why do you keep bringing me into this?
And there's gonna be a lot of that in this adventure for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, very very a lot of that for him. So I like Chrono as a character. In terms of, I mean, you will see it. He is your atypical hero, through and through. So
yep.
I do also one of the things I love most about this game is the artwork is done by Akira Toriyama, and you can't really tell that much from the sprites, but if you look at the promotional artwork for the game, any of the character stuff, you can tell it's Akira Toriyama. Obviously, he worked with Enix for the Dragon Quest series prior to this, working with Squaresoft for Chrono Trigger. But he has a very distinct style, and it very much looks like a red-haired Goku if you look at him.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then all the characters very much have that same style. What do you think of Marley
princess?
here? Yeah, spoilers. Princess Nadia.
Yeah.
It was always funny
As it-
that after we
found out she was a princess. It's not a spoiler.
yeah. And again, statute of limitations of spoilers definitely don't hold for games that are 30 years old. So
yeah, not at all.
and we totally fucking missed a perfect opportunity the day we were going to start this game originally. Something came up and I couldn't stream. So we had to push it back a day. But we were totally supposed to start on the 30th anniversary. It wasn't even actually planned. Yeah, totally by chance. We wasn't even planned to actually start on the 30th anniversary. I just happened to look. I was looking through Facebook and I messaged MrWrong. Again, I can't remember why I couldn't stream. There was just a reason I couldn't stream. I had to push it back one day. And I was like, son of a bitch, we should have started today because we just missed a perfect opportunity. But I digress.
I think it was just because it was so late in the day. So we just ended up doing the podcast instead. And then we pushed the actual recording of the game to the next day. Because we did the podcast on the day. And then it was like 20 minutes after we ended the podcast, you sent me the screenshot. Son of a bitch. We should have did today.
Yeah, we got to figure in some stuff out with the podcast. That's what it was. We were doing part 6 of the Mario RPG. So, and that's why we now have decided that we are going to do the podcast on a separate day than the actual gameplay, so we don't have to worry about that. As you're watching this, not anywhere near live on YouTube, it will have been pushed back probably, I don't know, at least a week or so before I get off my ass and actually edit this. And I don't even do much. All I do is just I put the title card on and cut where I go, and that's it. Like, I'm such a lazy fuck about it. But we're going to do part 2 of the gameplay tomorrow. So looking forward to getting back into that. But anyways, we got off topic. Character impressions. Marley, a.k.a. Princess Nadia.
I think she's super, well, as like the image shows, she's very uppity. She's very, very happy and excitable, which if she like escaped from the palace or the castle or whatever to explore, like I could see her being giddy. Like she's not allowed to be outside often, but like I liked how lighthearted she is. Like it gives me very anime princess vibes because like it's such a trope that the princess is usually like really just excitable about everything that's not like royalty or like noble, and like the common practice of stuff is just like such an amazement to her for like what's happening in the world that she doesn't ever experience. So I liked her in that aspect. I think she was really fun. I'm still gonna treat her like, shut up, bitch. Like you're noble. But I do like her. I think she's fun.
That's fair. And princess tropes in these types of games are always one of two different things. They're always exactly what you just explained that Marley is. The giddy, I want to be away from the castle. I'm kind of like rebelling against my heritage because I'm a tough bitch. And, you know, she's really not. She's really a pansy, you know, in disguise. And, or they're a completely stuck up, I'm royalty. I'm royal, bitch. I'm royal. And, you know, you want to fucking murder them because of how awful they are. It's always one of those two tropes. There's never like any like actual in between. Like you could probably go through the entire Final Fantasy series and tell me like just name the princess from the series and she's either one of those two things. But no, I agree. And I think having Marley be the lighthearted version really sets up a better tone of Chrono being the hero. Like, I'm thinking in my head of a particular princess from the Final Fantasy series right now, and that's Princess Ash from Final Fantasy 12. And I don't like her. She is
Oh,
a royal fucking bitch. And I don't particularly think that Vaughn is a great main protagonist in any regard of the word, but he's also I feel like I remember him basically just being emasculated even further by Princess Ash being a royal bitch. No pun intended. Um
yeah, when they first meet, like she says some shit.
yeah, so like and again, he's not that pentultimate hero like they're going to set Chrono up to be here anyways. But I mean like
Yep.
damn, he just gets further emasculated. So it's like I feel like unless your princess is going to be your main protagonist, that
She
just
shouldn't be just so stuck up.
yeah, you know, Fantasian Neo Dimension I just played through on my own recently, and the princess in that game is one of those stuck up bitches. Now she mellows.
Oh, is she?
She mellows enough by the end of the game that you don't hate her completely, and she doesn't completely emasculate your hero, but she definitely has that air about her. So,
Oh, okay.
but um, so yeah, no, the princess, good stuff. We're talking character first impressions here. We're getting the sequence where she was just sucked back in time, and that was as a result of Luca's machine. What's your kind of first impressions here about Luca?
First impressions with Luca, I mean, she does join us in a bit after we do the back in time, so we get to see a little bit more of her. Let's see. I don't have a lot to go on other than she's kind of our nerdy character where I could see her wearing these glasses with like the spirals. Like if I don't know if you understand that trope or not. As a like the super nerdy characters always have like these big wide rimmed
Oh, you're
glasses
talking
and
about
they're
like
just fully
in
circles.
anime, like where they.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that trope that you're talking about there. Toriyama doesn't use that really in his any of his work. Any character that has glasses, like they're just glasses on their face, type of
Yeah.
thing. So
But yeah, with her, it feels like as a she would have the spiral glasses as a because she's like super nerding out, which I don't know for sure, but like how old are these characters?
I want to say that. Well, again, as we continue to talk about all the various tropes of, um, RPG.
Games, they're
Oh crap!
usually in their teens.
Yeah. Um, we'll hit up the old Google here. I want to say Chrono and Luca are supposed to be like 16, and like uh, and Marley is supposed to be like 15.
Okay.
Let's see here. According, what does the Google say? Oh no, no, actually, here's the breakdown of the approximate ages, and I'm only going to give you the four characters that we run into. Um,
Okay. That's fair.
Chrono and Marley are both 17. Luca is actually
Okay.
19, and
Oh.
Frog is approximately 40 years old.
Oh, okay. I say, yeah, that fits the trope then. Yeah, I figured they'd be in their teens still. Luca being 19, I say that I was estimating that she was like a prodigy child essentially. So I was thinking that she might be younger than Chrono and that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
she's 19. Damn.
so and I'm looking here. This particular article puts Marley at 16 years old. Um, Frog around 40. Character unknown, character unknown, character unknown. And this does put Luca. So the only disparage here is that Marley is 16, not 17 with Chrono, which to me that actually fits the trope more, because typically the like the love interest is usually like a year younger than your hero. So
Yeah, a year older or a year younger. It's one of the two typically. But yeah. But with Luca, I would say like I was hoping her weapon, because she uses like a crossbow essentially, right?
Marley
Like
uses a crossbow.
Marley uses a crossbow.
Luca
What?
uses a gun.
Oh, yeah, she uses a gun. That's right. Let's say I expected her. No, I guess that would fit because she, with how tech savvy she is, it would make sense that she had a gun instead.
Yeah.
But I kind of expected like a stun guitar, like a stun baton type situation from her, just because that would be more like technological. But I assume that the gun that we'll be able to upgrade for her eventually will have other stuff too to make it look better. But it makes sense. Because he's using a straight up sword. She's using a bow / crossbow, and then the gun, and then Frog has great sword, right?
Like a broadsword, yeah.
Yeah. Which, once we got to Froggo, I liked Froggo too.
Frog is
want to
probably
see more.
Frog is probably my favorite player character. Like traditional player character. Has already been revealed to MrWrong. There is a 7th playable character, but they're a hidden character. That you only get by doing a certain thing. We are going to run into that hidden character no matter what, multiple times during the game. And I'm not going to tell you when is the opportune time to actually recruit them. I'm going to see if you can figure it out. You are forced into like, I want to say the word encounter, but I don't mean a battle with that character. When I say encounter, like you're forced to meet them and you're given a choice of something. And depending on what you choose will depend upon whether they join the party or not.
At that moment, or what you say will impact when they join later on?
Nope, at that moment.
Oh.
And I will try to make sure that you save prior to the encounter, so that way if you do mess it up and you really do want them as part of the party, you can reload and we'll go. I mean, like we're using my playthrough as the background video anyway, so whatever you do on your stream doesn't matter, other than for your own audience and
how dare you?
Other than for your own audience and your own playthrough.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
How many? So obviously the standard in Final Fantasy is you get 4 characters on the map. Does this one only allow you to have 3 players on the screen at once, or is this one 4
Actually,
players
there's
on
not
the screen
really
at
any.
once?
There's really not an official standard for Final Fantasy, and if there is, honestly, it's probably 3, because most of the Final Fantasy games only allow you to have 3. Once you get to a certain point later in the games. See, because Final Fantasy 1 has 4 characters, Final Fantasy 2 has 4, 3 has 4, 4 has 5, 5 has
Oh.
4, 6 has 4, then 7, 8, both have 3, 9 has 4 again, 10 has 3, 12 has 3, 13 has 3, 15 does have 4, but you don't control them at all anymore. You only really control the main dude, Noctis. And 16 only
Isn't
has
that
1.
14?
No, 14 was the MMO.
Oh, okay.
14 was the
And
second
then
MMO.
and 16, it was
Like the action
just
adventure game.
yeah, it was just one guy.
Yep.
You didn't have a party, which
Yeah.
that one I had issues with the entire game, but that's because same with Final Fantasy, it was downloaded on the external, so it kept crashing on me. So I literally played it out of spite just to beat it, so I was done with it. But if it would have played through properly, I probably would have liked it better, but not the same thing.
Fair.
But this one specifically is 3 then?
Yeah. Three is your max party size, and you can switch between them at like save points and on the world map and such.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
There are certain times where certain party members are forced upon you, which again, is a big time old school RPG thing,
Yeah.
and I fucking hate. I hate when party members are forced upon you. It's a nuisance in my opinion. It's an absolute nuisance. Yeah. So that's kind of like our first impressions of the characters there, and obviously we're going to learn some more deeper things about each of them. Their stories all get I think very well fleshed out over the course of the game. Probably I'd say there's one character that doesn't really get a ton that they should have, I think, but they are also the last like standard character you get. So
Okay.
but I digress.
Neither here nor there.
Exactly. So tell me, as you can see in the background video here, we're going through Guardia Forest in the 600 AD. So we got our first real taste of combat beyond just beating up the robot in the fair.
Yep.
So what are your first impressions of the overall gameplay?
I liked that when you're encountering something, it didn't just go to the standard of you're on the right side of the screen and the monsters are on the left side of the screen. Like it kind of each combat you're set up in a way where you're always kind of in a different position. Like it made it feel just a little more realistic where you run into something, oh, let me get on my side of the field. Whereas this, you're like, you run in and then you just kind of get into a battle position just wherever you're at. And same with the other characters. I thought that was actually really neat just for the fact that in real combat, that's essentially what happened. You'd run into something, you'd be like, oh shit, and you'd just get into a position and then you'd fight. So I liked that it didn't like fade the screen into like a battle, like in Wild Encounter with a Pokemon. All of a sudden, screen goes black, you're in battle. Because like that's what the Final Fantasy did. You'd run around, then it would flash at you, and then you're just in a line ready to fight. This one, it gets rid of that transition, and you're just in position ready to battle.
Yeah.
So I thought that was neat.
Like that I doubt this was the first one of its kind. Like in terms of that, it might have been. I don't know. I didn't look that up. I apologize, everyone. I'm not fact checking that. But
Yeah.
it was not common. I can tell you that much. It was not common to not have the transition. Almost every RPG did have some kind of transition, battle screen transition, and you're back at the like map, whatever you were doing. So this one was unique in that regard, and I see a puppy.
Yeah, Riley.
They
Riley can.
they I like that as well, that it keeps you there. And I think I mentioned this specifically in the battle with our first really big boss Yakra later on here, that positioning does matter. You obviously saw that for a bit as we learned Cyclone with Chrono,
Yeah.
because the enemies moving around the map, if they're close enough, you can hit multiple of them with Cyclone, whereas it's not necessarily always a guaranteed AoE, where like some spells in RPG games are guaranteed AoEs. It might not always be that
Yeah.
way. It just depends on where they are. You see them moving around and shit on the map. The same thing like in the battle with Yakra, the combo tech with Chrono and Frog, X Strike,
Yeah.
as they both take off and slice through, depending on how perfect or misshapen the X is between the two of them, that actually affects the attack power of it. It's like just
Oh,
like a hidden thing in there. So
good to
the
know.
positioning on the battlefield does have effects on it. They're not dramatic effects most of the time, because you cannot directly control where your character is. Um, but it does have an effect, so that's kind of cool. Um,
Yeah, that's neat. There's a little hidden thing there. I
yeah.
said that's cool.
So you kind of gave us your first impressions of the gameplay there. Like, how did your actual first impressions measure up to what you may have already heard about this gameplay, whether it's from me or any other gamers, watching any footage of anyone or anything of that? Like, how did it kind of measure up? Did it like meet your expectations? Did you find it to be more enjoyable than you thought it would? Obviously you played Sea of Stars, and you know that certain things were taken from the combat to go to Sea of Stars, and a lot of it is like the battlefield positioning, the no transition between battle scenes, that kind of thing.
So realistically, I didn't have much for expectations other than how big the game's name is, because I don't think I actually ever saw I don't think I've ever actually seen gameplay.
Okay.
Like I don't recall, like I remember, like obviously just like the images, but like I never watched anybody play this. So I don't think it'd be fair to say like it was or wasn't up to my expectations, seeing how I had no expectations. I think the only thing is when you had compared, before we played it, you had compared it to Sea of Stars. So like, but I can't compare it to that because Sea of Stars came out like 3 years ago. So like it was already very big and like graphic wise up to date, like all of those things. So like I can't really compare it to that. But considering this is like the forefather, forefounder, you know what I'm trying to say.
Something like that,
I
yeah.
Something like that. Uh, I I still really liked it. Just also the combos and that, where Sea of Stars also had the combos. I I like the transition between stuff. Like each character has a specific attack they can do with another character. I like that. They do that in Final Fantasy VII Remake also. I don't know if they did that in the original Final Fantasy or if that was just a remake thing, but I like that you get combo attacks because I've tried to add that into D&D, like having like in homebrew stuff, like not the campaign me and you are currently in, but like I have had a one shot where I specifically made it where, because I have a one shot where you're all stuffed animals, and depending on your move, like you can do a combo attack with another toy. Like I made like Toy Story essentially, but like Toy Story meets Five Nights at Freddy's. You have to protect the kid at night is essentially what happens.
Okay.
And I just made a random one shot about that where I thought it was really fun.
No, that's fair.
Also, very grotesque because you know those interchangeable toys where it's a stuffed animal and then you flip it inside out and then it's a whole different animal.
Yes.
Yeah, I made one of those, and the character that was playing that made it very grotesque. Like bones snapping out, the inner stuff just transforms because it was a turtle and then a unicorn is what it could transform into essentially. He role played that very well, but again, that's neither here nor there either.
Fair. Okay. Well, you know, and like it's nice to hear your first impressions of the gameplay. Again, I've played this game through about umpteen billion times. I'm very excited that once we get a little deeper into our list, to be able to finally like really get some ground where either I have no knowledge of what we're going into or we're both flying in blind. There are games on our list that MrWrong has played that I have not. There are games on our list that neither one of us have played. You know, and they kind of range the gamut of things. You know, traditional turn-based is definitely my forte, along with tactical RPGs, which we have a plan of a certain tactical RPG that is rather famous to potentially play here in the future. And then, no, it's not Final Fantasy Tactics, for anyone wondering. Anyone who knows me is like, oh God, Cage is involved in Final Fantasy Tactics. No, I wouldn't.
This is the conversation.
I wouldn't fucking wait for MrWrong for that. Not to say that if he eventually wanted to put that on our list for somewhere down, at a certain point in time, as long as he doesn't get sick of my sorry ass, you figure the list has to end someday. Like, of what we already have, and we're going to have to add other RPGs to it. So maybe Tactics would get added to that list. It also depends. I know that we've talked, and again, you know, as turn-based and tactical RPGs are my forte, tactical RPGs are not MrWrong's forte, but I have talked him into potentially playing one. So
I tried. What are they called? The character always has like blue with like a purple strand in their hair. The Three Houses one. What is the
Fire Emblem?
Fire Emblem. Yeah, like those are all tactics, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I tried one of those and I couldn't. Like it just I didn't understand what was happening. It kind of bugged me. I was like, I'm good. But like that was years ago.
No,
like,
and that's fair.
It is just that.
A lot of the Fire Emblem games are difficult to get into because, like, for Final Fantasy Tactics, there is a permadeath system, but just because the character falls on the battlefield, you get three of their turns in an attempt to bring them back or end the battle before they're lost forever.
They have death saves.
Yes, basically. But they also can't stabilize on their own. They have to be stabilized or the battle has to end to save them. Whereas up until the 3DS Fire Emblem Awakening, I think it was, Fire Emblem had a strict permadeath system, and if they fell on the battlefield, they were gone. Like they were
die in the game, you die in real life.
Yes. So yeah, and since you kind of already brought it up, I mean, Fire Emblem Three Houses is the game we're discussing playing, but there are 3 different modes, essentially difficulty settings for Fire Emblem Three Houses. If anyone has ever wanted to try to get into a tactical RPG, I do recommend Fire Emblem Three Houses is a good entry point because you can gradually step your way up. There are 3 options. You have your traditional Fire Emblem permadeath option. If you want the challenge, you will play with permadeath. If they fall on the battlefield, they're gone. There is the mode that I play, which I can't remember what it's called. But basically they can fall on the battlefield and they basically just they retreat from the
Okay.
battle. So you no longer can use them in that battle, but in the very next battle, they're available for you to use. Um,
Yeah, I'd probably do that.
and then there is the easier mode. I believe they call it Phoenix mode. And if they fall in battle, because it's turn based in the terms of like Civilization, or those type of tactical games where you go and you move all your units and end your turn, and then enemy goes, they move all their units and then end their turn. So at the beginning of your next turn, they will revive at the starting point of the battle. So
Okay.
it's kind of an easier mode. So if for some reason you're not feeling up to the middle mode, you can go the Phoenix mode and you'd have an easier time getting through.
I feel like I'd probably do just the middle because, like, I still like a challenge,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, if they died completely, I would not like that. But if we do eventually get into tactics type games, there is one that I'll have to add to the list, and you won't be super surprised.
Oh,
But Pokemon Conquest. It is technically a tacticals game.
that
I've
is.
seen a little bit. I know a little bit about it.
And
Um,
I definitely would be interested in playing that game. It's a crossover between Pokemon and like the Nobunaga's Ambition, which is also related to like the Dynasty Warriors series and stuff. So,
yeah,
uh,
it's based on like rural Japan essentially.
right. So, let's talk a little bit about time travel in games and other media. Before we kind of talk about like our first boss, our first dungeon here that we're about to go through. Um,
Yeah.
so time travel in most shows, movies, games, whatever, kind of gets a bad rap on things. A lot because of inaccuracies and things of that nature. Some people tend to think it's like just lazy writing to just throw in some wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. What are your
Okay.
thoughts about time travel within video games or other media? Like, you for it, against it? Do you feel like it's lazy? Do you feel like it's always presenting a new wild challenge? I don't know. What do you want? Like,
Well, what do you mean with lazy writing in that? Like, go into that a little bit. Like, why do people dislike it so much? Like, the
I've
concept is fine. Like, the concept of time travel has been around for such a long time.
yeah,
But what's people's issue with it?
I've seen I've seen people complain about time travel just being used as like crutches to try to make stories a thing where time travel doesn't really need to be involved. Like Star Trek used time travel a few times, and it's like, but time travel doesn't need to be involved with Star Trek. Quit it. People complaining about it.
Yeah.
I mean, like for me personally, I don't have a problem with time travel in games, or any media, I should say. It's not just games. I don't have a problem with time travel in general, as long as they've given some thought to it. I don't not necessarily accusing anyone of being lazy with it. I just want some thought with it. Obviously, this game was designed around the idea of time travel. Doctor
Yeah.
Who is a perfect example of science fiction where it's based around time travel. Um,
Yeah.
although some people do shit on certain parts of Doctor Who for just being poorly written time travel. Um, but like, I'm trying to think of an example beyond just like Star Trek where they threw in a time travel episode just because they
Just because.
just because they could, or were legitimately being lazy with it. Does that make any sense of what the hell I'm
Yeah.
talking about here?
Yeah, no, I get that. Say, thinking of media as a whole, like obviously Doctor Who, the entire essence of the show is time travel. The next thing that I think of is Supernatural, where it happens a few times, but it was the way that they had it in the story made sense of like what happened for them to go back in time. And I don't I don't really have an issue with time travel because I don't see it as necessarily lazy, especially if like the whole point is like, for instance, for Chrono Trigger, the reason we were sent to the past is because she fell in and then she looked like the queen, so like we saved it. But it's not like we changed the entire future. It like I feel like the premise is we went back to the past and we did the thing of saving the real queen, and that's how it was always supposed to happen. Like we were always supposed to go back in time to be the ones to save the queen and fix the problem. Whereas if we didn't go to the past, she might not have ever been saved.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like concepts like that where like you were always there. Like the premise you were always supposed to go to the past to save them in general. So like I liked that concept. There's a few movies about that too. Um the ones that I know of, I feel like the time travel didn't like not make sense at the time. Like I can't think of anything that is just like why all of a sudden now like Ashton Kutcher's The Butterfly Effect. Like that's the main one where again like he keeps going back to the past to change stuff and like it every time it has like a different outcome. That one like you're messing with reality. But the concept of this is you went to the past and everything still happened as it was supposed to. Like you didn't kill something and then all of a sudden the year you go back to is just in ruins or something like that. Am I just am
No,
I just saying what's gonna happen in the
I
game?
mean you're touching on some spoilerish territory. Well, I'm going to use exactly what's happening in the video, the background video of us right now. Right, is that the queen, um, or not the queen? It's Princess Nadia, um, was mistaken for the queen, and she's about to disappear as a result of the search being called off. Now, I will say that I find it kind of um questionable because Nadia disappears, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then the reason why she disappeared is because that the search was called off for the queen and the queen was never found, but then she disappears, and when they restart the search for the queen again, I mean, like it's a bit of a paradox effect
Okay.
there, but I mean, hey, I'm not gonna
Also,
shit
the
on
queen
that for
isn't
one
dead
thing.
yet.
Yeah.
Like we are still able to save the queen regardless. But I think the way they did it is when Luca is it Luca? I'm already forgetting her name.
Luca, and she's literally about to show up
I,
right now.
yeah, it's when Luca shows up, she's like, "We need to find her," and then all of a sudden that resumes the line, like at because at his point, from his perspective, he doesn't know where the queen is, and he doesn't think to like to look for her. I assume, and so like that's why it disappears. And then when Luca arrives, we need to find her ourselves and save her, and then the timeline resumes. So like I can see that, but yeah, paradoxes, I say that's a big thing. I say there's a lot of paradoxes that could happen.
Yeah.
So I can understand that.
And I tried to think of while you were explaining your point, and trying to listen at the same time. I was trying to think of other, like, any other media that I can think of where I felt like time travel was kind of like added and not needed, or
Mhm.
like that time travel was like used in a potentially proper way, like where they were, always meant to be there type of thing. And the only one that came off the top of my head that you know that kind of hit both for me was it really needed, and well, they were always there, was the Prisoner of Azkaban, the Harry Potter,
Oh,
the third movie slash book, and using the time turner to go back in time to save both Buckbeak and Sirius Black. Um,
okay.
and especially, at least in like the movie where it's a very visual thing, I thought they had done it very well. There was the rules, you can't interact, see or interact with yourself, and that's basically time travel 101. Um,
Yeah.
and they were essentially following their other selves around, and you see the events that had you had already seen unfold, re-unfolding,
Yep.
and you had already seen what they did, like where Hermione howls to get Lupin's attention. You heard the howl in the first place. You heard it, saw it happen as it unfolded, and
Yep.
then you got to see the back end of it. So like it's that concept like you were talking about, that they were always there, always meant to
Yep.
be there, kind of thing. So yeah, no, I get what you're saying. And yeah, I'm torn on time travel, and as long as it's done well, that's all that matters to me. And in my opinion, Chrono Trigger does do things very well. Um, I do want to skip forward in the video here a little bit to right around the time where we're going to face our first real boss, because I just want to talk about that a little bit, and then I have one more point that I wanted to talk about. Mm-mm. All right, so skipping forward in the video here, um, we find out that the Chancellor is not really the Chancellor. It was a monster disguised as the Chancellor to um, kidnap the Queen. We've gotten Frog in our party since that point. We get to face our first big boss here. What were your thoughts
Which
about
is
the?
another I say the way you described that after talking about Harry Potter, which that was totally a Harry Potter situation too. I'd say Mad Eye Moody.
Yes.
I'd say Mad Eye Moody was in a chest and they were pretending to be him the whole time.
Yeah, J.K. Rowling probably stole it from this, but hey.
Yeah. I was like, did J.K. Rowling play Chrono Trigger? Stole a few things that oh, that would be good. Let me write that down.
Yeah.
Uh
But
yeah, it turned into like a mole person.
yeah. So what were your thoughts
Mole
about
bull.
the cathedral like dungeon, and then facing Yakra here?
Uh like I was already kind of sus on him after because we before this fight when we were still in the castle, if we went up the left side, you found him with like his ear against the wall listening in to like I think it was the princess's quarters or something like that, or maybe it was the king quarters. But like if you talk to him, he just said I don't remember the exact verbiage, but he said something that was sus. I was like, why are you here? Why why are you against the wall right now? You have your own room somewhere in this castle.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you listening to the walls? So like that was a little sus. It wasn't sus enough for me to put him as like a monster, but it was sus enough that I was like, you probably know where the queen is. Like you probably did something. I wasn't expecting him to turn into a monster, but
Well,
I think
that's
this battle went decently. And
mhm.
now that I'm seeing the footage too, I can see what you meant by the X, like because it kind of curves from where they're standing.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
and
I'm thinking like if for future party stuff, try to have Chrono on this side and X or and Frog on this side to make a perfect X.
well, and they here's the thing too about like that hasn't been fully talked about yet. So you heard some people in this time period talking about the magical war that's happening, right?
Yeah.
And for the most part, this time period is the magical war, and it's like basically the monsters and magical beings against the humans. And
It's an uprising.
Yakra was part of that group of the magical beings, like the monsters. Um, and they were trying to destabilize the kingdom. That's what he was doing. So it's kind of not really like fully explained. I don't think it's fully explained ever, but you understand it more once you really realize the monster, like the magical beings, is happening. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I like the fight with Yakra. I feel like it's a good first. I feel like it's a good first example of what a boss battle will be like in this game. The next boss is not very forgiving, and again, maybe we'll just be overpowered by that point in time. But the next boss, in my experience, was never very forgiving.
No.
Like I struggled with it. Now it's an early game boss, so if you don't go through the process of doing a little bit of grinding, well,
He was in a chest too. I was right. He was locked in a chest just like Mad Eye Moody. I forgot that's where we found him. I forgot he was in a chest.
Yeah. But yeah, you kind of bone yourself a little bit. So, but yeah.
Okay.
Final thing I want to talk about today. I'm sorry. Did you have something?
I was gonna ask, with us because we ended up going back to our time.
Yep.
Is there? Is it like the next boss will be coming up like shortly, or is that something like kind of like how we did with Super Mario, where we get to a star and then we call it? Is it like spaced out?
Well, so for our purposes, I have like an itinerary that I want to try to stick to. The next boss will not be the last boss that we fight in tomorrow's gameplay. If we're able to follow my itinerary, it will, and it just depends on how much we get to play. I don't want to have a hard. It was easy for like a game like Mario RPG where let's stop at a star, and even then we didn't follow that all the time. But it was easy to do that with stopping at a star because it was a point. But we got to make sure that we're meeting our time constraints and still being able to produce our content. So we'll pretty much just play until we can't, until we need to stop playing, and then we'll just talk about those points there going forward.
Yeah.
And it's funny you kind of ask that question. It's kind of a good segue into the question that I did want to ask, which is, so where do you think the story is going to take us from here? We've made it back to our time with Marley and Luca. Luca runs off once we're back at the fair to do some research. And then Marley asks you to take her home. So, if you had to make a prediction of things that are going to happen, having no knowledge of anything that's going to happen in this game thus far, where do you think the story takes us? Not just necessarily for tomorrow's gameplay, but as a whole, I guess.
I say I'm gonna run on the concept that we were supposed to be in the past, like from the beginning, like we were meant to be there. And I don't know. I think you had spoiled that we go to the future as well. I feel like we're gonna be going kind of back and forth just to prevent shit from happening. Like, I feel like it's gonna be kind of a paradox situation where there's gonna be paradoxes that are happening if we didn't go to the past or go to the future. So my thought process is that it's eventually gonna open up to We return her back to the castle, and based on what you had said or how you reacted to me explaining like us creating a butterfly effect, I feel like once we get to the castle, someone's going to be there that wasn't supposed to be there before. And it's going to lead down a rabbit hole of like, I assume the next boss essentially is going to be in present time, or Luca's going to fuck up and create like this massive dimensional rift and people all get sucked in and then we got to fix it.
Good ideas and predictions. Without spoiling anything, if memory serves, we can travel to 8 different periods of time by the time all is said and done. So, there's gonna be opportunities, and there is going to be times where we're moving back and forth, with things, and YouTube is struggling to play my video right now, so that's fucking fantastic. Thanks, YouTube.
Thanks.
Look at it. It looks like ass as I'm trying to do.
Blame Hollow Knight.
You know what?
They've already crashed 2 entire platforms. Like,
you know what? You're probably not wrong. Honestly, the day we're recording this is September 4th. Not that that really matters, but Hollow Knight just launched like an hour ago. Hollow Knight Silk Song. So yeah, it's
crashed Steam. It's crashed the Nintendo store. Like it's fuck. I can't even buy it.
Yep.
It's only $20. I won't buy it.
Yep.
Let me go to it right now. Continue to pay out. Oh, something went wrong. And we've been recording for like 2 hours?
Something like that.
Yeah. So in the last 2 hours, I have yet to be able to get to the actual payment plan. I can get to my cart now, but that's it. That's as far as I can go because I want to buy the goddamn game. Oh, I'm gonna get it.
No, you're not. But yeah, so
next week, but
yeah, so interesting thoughts of where the story will take us. I'm very excited for you to see how this story continues. I do believe it is a very well done story in the realm of RPGs. I'm excited for you to get to experience it. This is one of those games that I wish I could go back and experience for the first time again. So, I hope at the end you do enjoy it. So, yeah.
I mean, any games that I can grind. I really love games that I can grind.
Like Wrong likes to grind.
Yeah, no, I like games where not necessarily because I can become overpowered, which that's the goal, is to get overpowered eventually, but games that change based on your level and being able to grind, because games like that can take my focus away from so many other things, like diving into like mental stuff a little bit, but like you're focusing so hard on just grinding that nothing else really matters. Like games like that, you just grind the entire time and you just keep going.
That's your secret word of the day, folks. Grind. Comment grind below.
Comment grind.
So you can grind with the D20 duo.
Oh my god. But yeah, those are the types of games. Other than that, it's games where I have like a fully customizable character, like Dark Souls. Like you can change like everything about them. Those games are really like, because I usually try to make me, like I try to make me as close as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, how close? If you could give my prediction a rating of how close I was to the actual storyline, what was I at? %?
It's hard to say because I like part of it.
I jumped around a lot too.
Part parts where you were on the very right track, other parts you not so much. But let's just say that you referenced the movie, but the butterfly effect, and obviously just the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Let me explain to you that one of the random conversations you may have had, it was not very random, okay? A lot of the conversations you have in this game actually aren't so random. There was something that would have been said to you at a certain point, after defeating Yakra, that was probably very innocuous sounding at that moment, if you even talk to the person, because you don't have to talk to the person, that is going to come into effect very soon, because something that happened, or something that they described that they should do, has already changed in our time. Things that we do within the story will change certain things within the time. And it could be things like how Marley disappeared.
Yep.
It could be things as a building changing, people changing, bettering or worsening people's lives. That's kind of that one's a spoiler in itself too. So
in this case, because we're already past that point, was it the king who had said something, or who had said the thing?
I'm not going to tell you, because I don't want you to think about the I don't want you to think about the conversation, because haven't.
That's what I'm just curious.
We haven't hit the reveal yet of how the world has changed in the future. So,
well, I know the church is gone. The church where we saved the queen doesn't exist anymore in our current time. Like, I know that. Like, that area is completely gone off the map. So I'm assuming that is relevant in a way, unless like that area just becomes like ancient ruins or something and we find it later or something. But I'm more curious, like, I'm not going to go back and look or anything like that, but I'm curious who I would have had to talk to, because like you said, it was innocuous at the time.
Okay, fine. I'll do the full reveal tomorrow when we start the gameplay and the event actually happens. But it was something the real Chancellor said if you talk to him after we were back at the castle.
Yeah, no, I didn't talk to him.
And there are other events. Remember how I told you that some things at the fair, like, just as an FYI, may come back to bite you in the ass?
Yeah, that's why we saved our tokens.
Nope, not yet. That comes later. But there are some things that you could have done or could have fixed at the fair that may or may not bite you in the ass here in the end. The overall next part will not change with those things, but how you get to the next, like, I'll put it as how you get to the next boss. Some of the things that happen will be very different, and it'll be very difficult for us to do voice acting for certain parts because we're going to have different dialogues. I can already tell you that we'll have different dialogues based on just what I know of what you did or didn't do during the fair. So, yeah.
Wait, what didn't I do? I did.
We'll talk about that next time. But for the D20
because
duo,
I spent money in the skull thing.
Nope. For Mr. Wrong, I am Legionkaje. We are the D20 duo, and we're going to leave you on this cliffhanger because this has been Questlog. And we'll see you next time, folks.
Bye.